Hi, welcome. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. But today we are interviewing a member of the West Bloomfield School District Board named Ken Ferguson. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks, Max.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate you having me on your show.
You're welcome. What is your schedule like?
My schedule for the school board really varies. I am a trustee um, and a treasurer, so we have a minimum of 2 meetings per month. One is a study session, and one is the regular board meeting. But realistically, I have many more meetings typically, which involves different committees that I'm on, such as the curriculum committee or the finance committee. Being the treasurer, it's really important that I attend the finance committee meeting so that I know what we're talking about at the upcoming board meetings and what are the hot topics about finances in the district.
Now you
So
are,
really, I
sorry,
can have probably 4 or 5 meetings a month easily.
that can be a lot.
Yeah, it can be, especially since I work full time and I have a couple kids still in school and just different commitments that I have in life. But it's worth it. I really enjoy serving our community this way and serving our schools and our students.
Now you are a writing candidate for the school board. What does that feel like?
It's it's kind of scary in a way. I ran 6 years ago, and um, and that was my first time running for elected office. So this time, I'm running as write-in because I also ran for a different elected position, but that didn't work out as I had hoped. It's for me, it's really about serving our community in some capacity. That's why I ran 6 years ago, was to have a voice for our students and our community that I felt was a reasonable voice that's experienced in education, being a teacher for the last 25 years now. But running as a write-in particular, it's trying to convince people to not only vote for me again, but to actually have them write my name on the line and help them understand the process and why I'm running.
Now I heard you're a teacher just not just from this interview, but from the middle school staff. What school do you teach at?
I actually teach at a lot of schools. It depends on the year. I teach children who are visually impaired, so they are either blind or have low vision. And I've been doing that my entire career for the last 25 years. So I actually am a consultant. So that means wherever there's a child who needs to learn Braille or technology or learn some sort of travel skills, uh, also just helping them out with working with their teachers to understand what the students' needs are. So I go all over Wayne County, all the way from Grosse Pointe to Hamtramck and Dearborn, Detroit. It depends on the year.
What school are you at this year?
I am at about 15 different schools, but I'm based out of a school in Grosse Pointe called Barnes Early Childhood.
Do you have a favorite grade you like to work with?
Ooh, don't tell my high schoolers or middle schoolers this, but I really do love elementary. I love the little ones because you know they're excited to be in school. They're excited to try new things, and they're just like a sponge soaking up everything. They uh, I often get like little hugs, and I wouldn't get those little hugs or glimmers of excitement in middle school. Do you think I would?
I mean, from some people,
Okay.
there not everyone, but there's some people. What grade are you teaching this year, or are you teaching many grades this year?
I teach many grades every year. I teach babies that are less than a year old, all the way to 26-year-olds. So even students that have, exited high school and are learning how to get a career.
When you're on the school board and you have to make a decision or talk about something, do you have anxiety while or before?
That's a great question. Anxiety, I might get anxious sometimes when I'm making personal decisions, that for my family. And I try to approach, I wouldn't say I get anxious, but I certainly want to do my homework and I want to understand what I'm voting on and try to understand all the different perspectives that are entailed in making that decision. So it's more about making sure that I'm doing my due diligence to understand the topic that I'm voting on.
Is there an easy thing for you when you're voting on something? Are there easy topics for you?
If it's what's best for students and what's best for our staff, that makes it easier for me to vote. Um, when we're talking about things that are farther away from that impact students every day, then that's more challenging. But I want to make sure that our students and our staff have everything they need to be successful.
Is there a hard thing for you to vote on when you're making a decision?
It's hard to vote on issues that will either hurt or minimize different programs and different staff. So I never want to do anything that's going to cause harm or pain in somebody's career or somebody's programming that they enjoy. For example, if we had to cut the football team or the band program, that would hurt a lot of different students. And yeah, that would certainly be painful for me. But we're not in that position right now. It's just an example.
That's good because we have some talented people in band and just around the school too that I know without those programs that some people would not be happy.
I totally agree.
Do you have favorite things to vote on?
I love voting um, on things that will help our students. And so the opposite of what I just said, it's anything that will give our students more options and more programs and more opportunities. Like I loved voting on when we eliminated the pay to play fees. It used to be that parents would have to pay $250 for their kids to participate in athletics. And so this is the first year in a long time that we have gotten rid of that. So it made me happy to get rid of that to alleviate some of the financial burden on some families.
And with COVID and inflation, that's even better at this year too, because then the cost is a little less, and then there's more in the pocket for when you
I love the fact that you know about inflation, Max.
it is really beating some people.
It is. And whenever we can help out in some way, because the district right now has a healthy fund balance, meaning that we have a healthy savings account right now. So if we can pass that along to our parents and our community members in some way, that's always great.
Do you have a least favorite thing to vote on?
Hmm. Not really. Just if I know it's a hard topic and it's divisive, sometimes we have votes that are 4-3 and we can't reach a really solid consensus. Now, I'm not afraid of voting on things and being against something, but I like to get to a point where we find some common ground, right? And that's why the community elects 7 of us, all from different backgrounds and different experiences, to come together and make a decision to lead our district. And if we don't get to a really solid consensus, I don't like voting on it right away. I'd rather talk a little bit more. And at some point, on a rare occasion, we will agree that we're not going to get past this, very divisive topic, and we just have to vote on it.
Are you required to vote on every topic, or are there some things that you don't have to vote on, or
We don't have to vote on everything directly. We have what's called a consent agenda. So it's a whole bunch of different topics that we just agree and it's more business in nature. So we can just vote on the consent agenda. And usually we know what all that's about. So it's pretty easy to vote on that. But there's also some things that we don't have to vote on that, because really the school board flies at like this 30,000-foot view. And so a lot of people think that we make these day-to-day decisions, but that's not true. We actually have really one employee that we have to hold accountable, and that's the superintendent. And so we delegate that power and authority to the superintendent, and then we hold her responsible for that, the day-to-day operations.
Do you have a favorite person to work with?
Right now, UMax. I'm going to leave it at that. Honestly, I really do enjoy working with my 6 other elected board members, because, and sometimes we don't always get along, just like, friends, and just like brothers and sisters, and, everybody in the workplace. You have different ideas, you don't always get along, but we're all in it for the same reason, and that's to help students and to serve our community. So at different times, I do have a favorite person, but it changes.
So how many years is one term of for school board?
It's 6 years.
So this would be if you get elected, which is you have the write-in this year, you'd be serving for 12 years when this term is over.
That's the plan.
Well, hopefully you get in.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the support, Max.
You're welcome. What is it like to be on the board?
I enjoy it, honestly, because it gives me, even as a teacher, so as a teacher, I see that day-to-day working operations, working with students, and I love that. I love working with kids and other educators to kind of solve problems for my students and in the classroom, and also help other teachers get better at their jobs. That's fantastic to me. But when I'm on the school board, I get to see something different, and that's the big picture of education, and seeing how finances work, human resources, hiring a superintendent. That's been pretty cool as a teacher, and getting to understand that whole process of what it is to run a district.
What is your career history? So after you got out of college, what did you do? And then your steps along the way to get there now.
Well, I'm going to take it back a little bit further than college, if that's okay. So
Yes, that is completely okay.
when I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And that's why I love being on the school board, is helping to make sure our students have being ready for different options available to them, career readiness, or being prepared for college, or something, something different, right? So everybody has a different journey in life, and I want to make sure that our students are ready for theirs. But when I graduated high school way back in 1989, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I thought I wanted to be a police officer, so I joined the Army pretty soon after I graduated. And I was called up to Desert Storm. So I went to Saudi Arabia and served in Desert Storm as a compound guard, meaning a prisoner. I guarded prisoners. And while I was there, I was like, nope, I don't want to be a police officer. But I did a little bit of soul searching, and I realized I really wanted to work with what I thought were students who needed the most help. And for me, that's students who are blind or low vision. And that's been my passion ever since. And I've loved my career in 25 years.
Do you have a favorite place to work at? Now, not just for school board, but like on your teaching behalf.
Well, I like going to different districts and seeing how things kind of run in all the different districts. Certainly, I have my favorite schools where I know different staff and different students, and most of those schools are in Grosse Pointe because I see them the most regularly, and I have some colleagues and friends there. but I really do get a kick out of going and seeing my students in Hamtramck or in Harper Woods and all over Wayne County, in Detroit. I used to work with babies in Woodhaven, Brownstown for a few years, and they might be sending me back there this year to go work with more babies. So, whenever you get a chance to work with little ones crawling and learning at the very beginning stages, it's awesome.
Were you on a school board before West Bloomfield School District School Board?
No, no, back in 2016, and maybe even a little bit before that, I wanted to serve our community in a different regard. Being a teacher, it's kind of serving your community as well. And certainly being in the Army, I served my country, but I felt like a calling to really serve West Bloomfield. And I felt like it was a natural fit for me to be on the school board. So, with the support of my wife and my family, that's what I did, and I'm doing it again.
Is that what sparked your interest to wanting to be on the school board?
Yep, having kids in the community and also being a teacher and understanding the day-to-day operations as a teacher, it really helped me to figure out that's what I wanted to do within the community was being on the school board.
Now, in your next 6 years of the school board, if you get in, which hopefully you do you have any plans to add or get rid of things that the district's already done?
Well, there are a lot of, we're talking a lot about different opportunities for our district. And I want to make sure that we have the best schools that are available, not just in Oakland County, but in the state. And I want people across the country to say, wow, we need to go visit West Bloomfield because they're doing right by the students in their community, and they've really got their stuff together. But I would like to see us increase our programming so that we have more options for our students. And, a few years ago, when my oldest daughter was in school and she graduated in 2012, we were kind of considered more of an fine arts school. And now people, call us more of a sports type of school district because we have, the football state champs, girls basketball, girls snowboarding, and more really excellent sports teams. But I want us to be a school district that has it all. And we do. We have great staff and we have great families who support our schools. And I think we can, have great fine arts and sports at the same time.
What are you working on for the school board right now?
Well, I'm still the treasurer. I've been treasurer for 3 years. And I'm really proud at what our school board has done and our staff have done to help us get to where we're at financially right now. And so we're still trying to make sure that we have good finances and a good savings, but also we want to make sure that we're paying our staff what's appropriate. So I want to make sure that we're still doing that. And we have done it these last 6 years. We've really made some great gains in making sure that our teachers and our parapros and all secretaries, everybody, admin, that they're all paid appropriately and feel appreciated that way. But we're also working on the possibility of, improving schools, and we've got a lot of other stuff that I don't feel it's my place to say. I'm going to let it roll out, as deemed appropriate by the superintendent, Dr. Bazzi. But we have some great stuff on the horizon, Max.
What did you do in the other 3 years of you being on the school board before treasurer?
I took that time to really understand what it's like to be on a school board because it was a new job. Even though I'm a teacher, I needed to learn, like I said, that different view. I had to put on a different hat. When I sit at the school board, I try not to think like I do as a teacher. I try to think of myself as like a manager, helping to manage the district. And it's everything that I would want as a teacher might not make sense coming at the school board. So I try to wear a different hat. So I was learning how to put on a different hat and work with my new colleagues on the board and understand the processes that go along with being a good board member.
What is your education?
Well, for the school board, let me talk about that. Is I actually took quite a few classes to become a certified board member, which not every board member is across the state. I think most of us, if not all of us on the school board right now, are certified. And I wanted to make sure that I showed my dedication to learning from the experts of what it means to be a good school board member. But aside from that, I have a bachelor's degree in teaching for the visually impaired and English. I also have a master's degree in education administration. And I also have an ed specialist, which is kind of between a master's and a doctorate. And that is also in education administration. So, but with a concentration in special ed.
Where did you go to school to get all of those degrees?
I started out at Macomb Community College, and then I went to Eastern Michigan University, and I got my 2 higher ed degrees at Wayne State.
And now going and taking a step away from school board questions, you also ran for state rep not too long ago.
Yep.
You didn't end up winning, but are you planning to try again the next time you can run for it?
Oh, that would be in 2 years. And I would say never, but I don't make those big plans years in advance. If there's something available that I think would be a good fit for me, and other people think it would be a good fit, whether that's state rep or something else, I might run for it. And it's not really about me having that opportunity as much as it is, I ran for state rep because I wanted to have a voice of experience, right? Having already served on the school board, understanding what it's like to be a team player and work with other people to get things done, I wanted to take that experience to Lansing, but it didn't, fall my way. And we'll see who wins in the general this November, and some of that, might dictate if and when I run again.
And now, if you get accepted onto the school board for this year, what role do you plan on playing on the board?
Ooh, I haven't really thought too much about that. I'm, I think I might stop being treasurer. I honestly don't know. I like the idea of letting somebody else gain experience as treasurer, but we'll see. Usually we kind of work together to figure out who's going to run for something and take a leadership role on the school board. And it just so happens that these past 3 years, I've been treasurer, and I really enjoyed that opportunity, learning, not being like an accountant, learning more about school finance and understanding it.
Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you for joining. I will post this later. I will send it to you through email.
Well, thank you, Max. I really appreciate your time, and
You are welcome.
certainly you have some awesome interview skills and thought-provoking questions. So I really do appreciate your time and coordination for this. Best of luck in your future interviews. I'm sure Dr. Bazzi will be a great person for you to interview. She has a great career as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing not only this one, but I'm going to go back now and check out your other interviews too.
All right, and I would also like to thank Miss Graff for assisting me in coordinating this email and
Yes,
interview
definitely.
and making this happen.
If I could put in one plug, Max, before we're
Yes,
done, for
yes.
all of your viewers, that are in the West Bloomfield School District area. When you fill out your ballot, if you could please write my name, Ken Ferguson, and check the box next to it under the school board section. I would appreciate that. And hopefully we can continue to do the great things that we've been doing these last 6 years together.
Now, is that an online link? Sorry, I knew that was the last question a minute ago, but is there a link for it or something
There,
online?
if people want to find out more about me, I have a website, but it's not really working right. But I can be found on Facebook and Twitter. And certainly people can send me messages that way, or
All
they can
right.
just email me through the school district and I will respond through my own personal email. But I'm always happy to connect with our community.
All right, I will put that all in the description of this video. It probably won't be till after 7 when it gets published, so I will just let you know that.
Hey, that's fine.
I could possibly have another interview after this.
Okay, wonderful. You got a long night. Have you done
Yes,
your homework?
I did not have homework, so that makes it even easier.
That's great.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Max. You too.
You're welcome. I will. Bye.